a week and I don't know what to do. Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect. Okay, right, let's get going then. We're going to get our feet together. Okay, we're going to separate the heels, separate the toes, hands on our hips, nice big movement in the pelvis. So get tilting forward and back. Get those hips moving and your lower back moving just a little bit. So it's like you're sticking your bum out and then tucking the tailbone under. Yeah, I do think I'm on salad and water for the rest of the week though. Okay, let's find a place where the pelvis is nice and level. So somewhere between the two. Relax your arms down by your sides. We're going to stand up nice and tall. We've got our tummy muscles held in. And we're going to roll those shoulders back. So you're lifting, squeezing, dropping down the back. Lift and squeeze and lower. Just try and get some movement going on in the shoulders. Maybe release some of that stress that's going on. We'll go a little bit wider with the arms. Last two. Last one, and glide the shoulder blades down the back. Okay, from here, you're going to make two fists with your hands, okay? Arms are out to the sides, and you're going to turn the hands so that your palms are facing up. And as this happens, your shoulder blades hopefully squeezing together, and then pull them back down into a normal position. So you're pulling your shoulders back like this, so sticking your chest out, and then coming back to the center. So squeeze and release. Squeeze, release. So by turning your arms, you're hopefully opening up that chest a little bit more. Squeeze, release. 3, 2, last one, and release. Okay, up onto the toes. Whoop, back down. I tell you, being in a wheelchair didn't stop me Auntie Barbara drinking. I think she'd bought a box of wine with her in her room. Okay, let's add the arms. Stretch up nice and high. And then on Saturday, it was my parents' their wedding anniversary. So it was like a family, more close family dinner on Saturday. We watched the Grand National, had a bit of a sweep going on. That's it, reach up, last two. Last one. And lower. Okay, two arms out in front of us. Keep your shoulders forward, pull one arm back and switch. I think I might have to open the window. Okay, pull all the way back, rotate. Three, two, last one, and lower. Okay, we're going to go nice and wide with the feet. Up with those arms, nice big starfish. You're going to bend into the knees, hug the body, reach back up. Oh, nice deep breaths. Stretch up. Lovely. Last two. Last one. And lower your arms. Okay, we're going to stand at the back of the mat. Get your chin on your chest. Keep your arms nice and heavy. Keep those knees soft. We're going to roll ourselves down towards the mat. So slowly towards your feet. And then slowly back up. Trying to get a big stretch through that back. Up nice and tall here. And then down again. Chin to chest. Reach for the feet. Slowly back up. Nice and tall. Down again. This time we'll hold it at the feet. So come down, hold it here. You're going to add some movement. So circles, or you can go side to side. Just as long as you're feeling that stretch through the back and not the backs of the legs. So you need to bend your knees a bit more if you're feeling it in the hamstrings. And slowly back up. Nice and tall. Okay, we're heading all the way down. We're going to come down onto hands and knees. Okay. So work your way down. Finding the mat. So onto hands and knees. We're going to do a cat and cow stretch first. Okay, so push your spine up towards the ceiling. Yeah, don't let the dog have that ball. Release it, go the other way. Head goes up, bum pushes. He's got it. He's taking it. And then bring that spine back up so that it's nice and level. So you've a flat back, as if you had a tray sitting on it. You're going to scoop your tummy in. Let's go with the legs. You're going to stretch one leg out, back in, switch the other side, stretch, and back in. So we're not looking for height here. We're just looking to stretch the leg towards the back of the room there. So scoop the tummy in. Gently from leg to leg, so not too fast. Okay, let's add the arm. So opposite arm to opposite leg is going to stretch out. Slowly back in. That's it. Lengthen through the arm, through that leg. We've still got our abdominals engaged, so as if we've got a belt on. Okay, we're going to go one more each side and we're going to hold the position. So one arm, one leg goes out. Hold it here. We've got the tummy held in. 3, 2, 1, and lower. Same on the other side. Stretch. 3, 2, 1, and lower. Let's sit back on the heels and stretch it out. Fingers forward. Thumb right back. Okay, over onto our side. Okay, we're straightening out the legs. And you can use this top hand on the floor if you need to help you balance. Just make sure you're in a nice straight line there through the feet, the hip, and the shoulder. Sometimes the hip wants to go forward, sometimes it wants to go back. You need to try and make sure it's right in the center. So abdominals in again. We're going to lift the top leg up to hip height and then drop it back down. So just make sure you're not going too high. Gently does it. Lift and lower. So it's your top hip that's working here. That's it, gently does it. Not too high. Last two. Last one, and you're going to lift that leg up. You're going to hold it here. Now your bottom leg is going to lift and lower while your top leg stays still. So you can still use this hand here on the floor. Lift and lower. Gently does it. So I suppose the abdominals here are working to just keep you balanced. Now those two hips are working. Two more. Last one. And lower the legs. Hugging the knees. Okay, we're going to grab a cushion for our head. Oh, that's too soft. Anyway, okay. I need to double it up. Right, so get your two arms out in front of you and make sure your knees are bent. We're going to get that top arm up over the head, round down behind the back, down towards the feet, and back round. That's it, as wide as you can. So you should have hopefully plenty of room just to open up the chest a little bit more as you reach back, trying to get lots of movement in that shoulder joint. Two more. And last one. And lower. Okay, up onto your, I'm going to give you a choice here. You can go up onto the elbow or you can go up onto the hand for side bend, okay? So I'll show you both. So you're either here up on the elbow, so elbows directly under the shoulder, those legs are stacked on top of each other. You're lifting here, threading the arm through, stretching back up. Or if you want, you can go up onto the hand. So hand is ahead of your shoulder. Make sure it's not here, it's a little bit further down the mat. Still legs on top. Lift up, you're in a T shape. Get that arm through and stretch. Entirely up to you. Personal preference, okay? Personally, I prefer on the elbow, but it depends on your wrist, really. So stretch the arm through, reach back up. So try and make sure you come back to the starting position. Stretch up. Oh, there's Rod Stewart again. I thought taking him off my playlist. Reach up. Let's go two more. And lower everything back down. Okay, all the way back down, rest your head on your arm again, or you can rest your head on your cushion, doesn't really matter. We're going to go into a bit of clam, so get your feet in line with your hips. Make sure you keep this pelvis nice and still. It's not rocking back as you separate the knees, okay? So feet are going to stay together. This is still here. We're going to separate those knees, lift and lower. So it's like you've got your bum against the wall, and you don't want your bum to be knocking off the wall. Two more like this. And lower. Now we're going to leave the knees together and separate your ankles. So you're moving the other direction, working through that hip in the other direction. So open, close it. Just to keep the knees together. Last two. Last one. Now we're going to alternate the two. So keep your feet together, separate the knees, and then knees together, separate the ankles. You're going to switch from one to the other. A little bit faster. Let's speed it up. That's it. Faster. 3, 2, 1. And lower. Stretch out those legs. Give that hip a stretch out there. Okay, from here we're going to come up to seated. I sprung up there. Okay. So get your legs a little bit wider than your hips, okay? We're going to sit up nice and tall. You're going to cross over your arms in front of you. So try and keep this pelvis nice and still. If you feel there's a bit of pressure on your lower back, sit on a cushion if you need to, okay? We're going to go rotate from one side to the other. So legs stay still, our pelvis stays still. Open out the arms. That's it. Make sure you're taking the shoulders around, the head, the shoulders. And then on the next one, we're going to rotate and reach for that opposite foot. Come back up, rotate, reach. So a little bit mechanical about it, where you rotate first, then stretch. Come back up, rotate, and then stretch. So you're not just going like this, okay? Do the rotation, stretch for the foot, bring it back up while you're still facing your foot. That's it. Better, nice, okay, stretch it. One more each side. And back up. Okay, let's get the legs back together. Over onto your other side. So straighten out the two legs. This is just a variation of our side kick, okay? Just make you. What the hell is that? What happens when I'm away for a week? Dirt all over the floor. Okay, so tummy tightened in, legs nice and straight line between your feet, your hip, and your shoulder. We're going to lift the top leg up to hip height and then drop it back down. Lift and low. Two more. Last one. Let's lift that leg up, hold it here. Now bottom leg comes up to meet it, drops back down, lift and lower. That's it. Work the two hips. Try and get that bottom leg right off the floor. Three, two, last one, and lower the legs. Hug the knees in. Okay, grab your cushion for your head. Two arms out in front. Let's get the top arm up over the head and round. Actually, it doesn't matter if you have your bottom arm down. So if you want maximum movement through that shoulder joint, you need to keep your chest facing forward. And then if you want more of a stretch through the front of the chest there, through the pec muscles, you move the upper body. So as you're going around, your chest starts facing up towards the ceiling. So you're stretching further back and round and kind of adding extra muscles into it through the chest. So depending on what kind of movement you want. So if you want to just move through the joint and try and get through those lumps and bumps, that's fine. Keep your chest forward. And then if you want more of a stretch through the chest, start moving the upper body. Last two. Last one. And lower. Okay, up onto your elbow or onto your hand for our side bend. So you're either here, up on the elbow with your legs stacked on top of each other, or you're up on the hand. Sometimes you need to push the palm of your hand into the floor just to get a bit of grip, don't you? So get the legs stacked on top of each other, hips off the floor either way, arm up. Let's reach through and stretch. So if you have any kind of niggly pain in that wrist, drop back down to the elbow and vice versa. Make sure you're stretching as through as you can and back up. Two more. Last one. And lower yourself back down. All the way back down onto your arm or your cushion. Jeez, I hurt my wrist, that did. Okay, get your feet in line with your hips. So you can lift your feet up, have a look over your hips just to see if they're in line with your backside there. And then lower your feet back down. Going to keep the feet together, pelvis still, separate those knees, lift and lower. Just make sure that pelvis isn't rocking back. Focusing right on the hip joint. Last two. Last one like this. And lower. Now keep the knees together, separate those ankles. And try and get nice and high with this one. It's a good one if you suffer from any sciatica kind of pain, because it's your piriformis, which is this action, moving your leg outwards, stretches out that piriformis muscle. And it's the piriformis that more often than not is the one that rubs against the sciatic nerve. So if you can stretch him out, stretch that piriformis muscle out, hopefully it won't cause you any aggravation if you do suffer. So we can stretch him to move him out the way. Two more like this. Last one. And lower. Now we'll alternate the two. So separate the knees, separate the ankles, switch and switch. And if anybody wants to buy a ball, I've loads in the studio that, what did I say? They were €8 each, I think they are. If anybody wants one, let me know. Just send me a text. I can always bring it around to you if you want. A little bit faster on this. 3, 2, 1, and lower. Stretch out those legs. Or the socks. I have the grippy socks as well. 2 pairs for €6. Sorry, I feel like I'm selling everything tonight. Okay, we're going to go over onto our backs. Grab your ball if you have one. If you don't have a ball, you can use a rolled up towel. So roll it up like a sausage. Or as if, you know, when you used to roll up your swimming trunks or swimming costume in a rolled up towel. Or, you know, something like this. But obviously this isn't firm enough. If you've got something firmer, that's better. Okay, so grab your ball or your towel, whatever you're using, or a rolled up cushion. You're going to lift up the hips and place it underneath the lower back there, underneath your bum. Are we okay? So make sure it's not under your lower back, it's further down. So tummy engaged. We're going to lift our 2 legs up to tabletop. So lift and lift. Okay, let's keep the knees bent. So we're going to tap 1 toe down, bring it back up. Then on the other side and back. That's it. So the nearer you go towards your bum here, so if you're bending your knees, that's a little bit easier. And then the further out you go, the harder it gets. Still got our tummy engaged. So a little bit of stillness going on in your abdominals and that upper body. That's nice and still, just your legs moving. Three, two, last one, and lower those 2 legs. Let's take the ball or the towel out, whatever you have. Hug the knees in. Do a little rock from side to side. Stretch it out. Okay, drop the 2 feet back down. We're going to do a bit of a crunch here, so make sure your feet are flat on the floor. You're going to get your 2 hands at the sides of the head. You're going to crunch up. We're pushing our lower back right into the floor and then back down again. So lift and lower. Breath out and in. Just make sure you're not gripping onto your head too tight. And think about pushing that lower back into the mat. Breath out as you lift. In as you lower. Are we okay? I got a message on the screen then saying that Zoom had quit for some reason, but obviously it didn't. What are we doing? Oh yeah. Last 2. Last 1. You're going to hold the head and shoulders up off the floor. You can have your 2 hands here and then bring your 2 legs up to tabletop. So 1 and 2. You're going to hold it here with the head and shoulders and then tap 1 toe down and back up. Same on the other side. Now, if it's too difficult, you can drop your head and shoulders back down and just have your head and shoulders down and just move through the legs. Otherwise, try and have your head and shoulders up. That's it, not too fast. Maybe a little bit further down towards the end of the mat. 3, 2, 1. Lower the 2 feet back down, drop the head and shoulders. We're going to do another set. Okay. So when you're ready, we're going to lift again. Push that back into the floor. Gently back down. If you're struggling with the neck, rather than looking towards your knees, look towards the ceiling. Okay, one more, 2 more. Last one, lift head and shoulders, hold it here, 2 legs back up the tabletop. This time we're going to stretch one leg out and back in. So keep head and shoulders up, get your legs stretching. If you need to, drop the head and shoulders back down and just go with your legs. And you can always go up higher with the legs if you feel there's too much pressure on your back. 3, 2, last one, and hug those knees in. Drop the head and shoulders. Drop the feet back down. We're going to a bit of shoulder bridge. So get your back nice and level with the floor, arms relaxed down by your sides. We're just going to gently push the spine right into the floor and release. So you're not lifting anything, you're just going to push the spine in and release. Just get a nice pelvic tilt going. And then on the next one, push that spine into the floor, tilt the pelvis and peel the back up off the mat, one bone at a time, and then slowly back down. Breath in here on the floor and then out to lift again. Two more of these. And on the last one, I want you to lift your hips up and hold them there. So hips are up off the floor. You're going to bring one leg straight up towards the ceiling. You're going to keep the hips where they are so they're off the mat. And then we're going to lower and lift the leg. Lower and lift with our hips off the floor. Control that leg. If it's too difficult, go back to just regular shoulder bridge. So just lifting and lowering off the mat. 3, 2, 1. Drop the foot, but keep your hips up. Same on the other side. Lower and lift. Keeping those hips off the floor. 3, 2, 1. Drop the foot and then slowly drop that spine back down to the mat. Drop the legs, let's stretch it out. Okay. Drop your, get your feet back flat on the floor with your knees up. We're going to go one leg up to tabletop. We're lifting, head and shoulders up. We're reaching for the foot. Okay. And then you're going to lower, stretch your arms up over the head and stretch out the leg at the same time. Okay. So you're crunching in, crunch everything in, and then stretch everything out. So in, that's it, and stretch. We don't have to move too fast. We're working some quite deep abdominals here. Stretch it out. Crunch it in. So your leg comes up to tabletop. Stretch out. Crunch in. Two more. Last one. And lower. So remember which leg you did, okay? Because when we do a little bit more shoulder bridge, we're going to come back to the other leg. So go back to shoulder bridge. You're going to get your feet flat on the floor, knees up. We're going to push that spine right into the mat and peel that back up off the floor. Slowly back down, back to neutral, and then go again. Push and lift. Okay, on the next one, let's lift those hips up and you're going to hold them up. It doesn't matter which leg you do here, okay? We're going to bring one leg up to tabletop. You're going to keep your leg where it is this time and lower the hips and then push back up. So lower and push. If it's too difficult, go back to regular shoulder bridge. Push up. Two more here. And then we keep the hips up and switch over the legs. Lower and lift. So keep your knee bent and it's your hips you're moving up and down off the floor. So down, push up. If it's too difficult, put your both feet down and just go for your regular shoulder bridge, okay? That's it, push up. Last two. Last one. Drop your foot. Gently bring the spine back down to the floor. Okay, now we go with the other leg. So other leg goes up to tabletop. This is the last bit, I promise. Crunch up, reach for the foot. Stretch out, arms above over the head. Crunch and stretch. Stretch. Two more. Last one. And lower. Okay, stretch it out. Stretch out the legs. Stretch out the arms. Okay, let's bend up the knees. Let's get the feet together, knees together, arms going out to the sides. Drop your knees over to one side, head goes the opposite direction. Back up to the center, over to the other side. And back up to the center. We're going to come up to seated. Okay, so get one leg in front, the other leg behind. They're both bent. We're going to drop our elbow down to the easy side first and reach up over the head. So your arm is over your ear. And then bring your arm in front of the face. You're reaching for the corner of the room. So the stretch moves into the back, into the side of the back more. And lift yourself back up. Over to the other side. And release. Okay, swing the legs round the other way. Drop down to the easy side onto your elbow. Arm goes up over the head. So your arm is right over your ear. Stretch, 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 and try and lift this little bit here. And then arm comes in front of the face, reach for the corner of the room. So reach sideways. Release that, come back up, over to the other side. That's not so easy, okay. And release. Up onto hands and knees. Okay, push your spine up towards the ceiling. Shift the weight forward over the hands, back over the knees. So hopefully feeling the stretch moving down the back. Come back to the center, release that, head goes up, bum pushes out, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Release it, sit back on the heels, stretch it out. From here, I want you to walk your two hands off the mat over to one side. Back to the center, over to the other side. Back to the center, back onto hands and knees, and then this time I want you to open up the knees nice and wide and just drop the chest down between the legs. Much more of a stretch in the hips. And release that. Back in with the knees. Let's tuck the toes under. Push your bum up towards the ceiling. Walk your hands towards your feet. Roll it up. Nice and tall. Down towards those feet again. Reach. Slowly back up. Not very good, is it? Okay, reach your two arms up towards the ceiling. We're going to stretch and stretch. And two arms up and lower. Breath in and out. Last two. Last one. And lower. Thanks, everybody. And I shall see you next week. Or might see you in your class.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye.